Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Ben and I'm a self-taught web developer who went from zero to paid full stack in 8 months studying the Odin project. And in today's video, I just wanted to give my thoughts and opinions on a question that I saw on the Odin project Discord. And I think it matches the sentiments of a lot of people who are studying, a lot of people who are in a boot camp or in university right now studying, trying to become a developer. So just going to jump straight into it. The question today is about the anxiety around what's going on in the industry. So hey guys, I'm kind of anxious about the ton of posts about people being laid off, freshers not getting hired. Any advice would be appreciated regarding that. I'm in my third year of college and I'm kind of scared for the future. So I'm considering doing multiple things at once, web dev, machine learning, etc. And I don't even know if that's a good idea in itself. Is versatility more important for more job options, or would focusing on a single field be better in the long run? Thanks. Okay, so my thoughts on this, hands down, I will say focus on one thing. So when you're really early on in your career, whether you're self-taught, going through a boot camp, in university, is you don't know very much, right? So you've really got to nail down the foundations. Foundations of what exactly? If you try to dabble in machine learning, if you try to dabble in network IT, if you try to dabble in web development, if you try to dabble in firmware, you are not going to understand the fundamentals of one particular domain very well whatsoever to even make you become a competent developer in any of those domains in the future. You really need solid foundations. And I think that the people that succeed the best are the people who know what they want and they go for it. And I don't envy the position going back to the beginning and thinking, what is it that I want? Because there are so many options out there. That's a really hard thing to figure out. And that's why I think if you're really early on, I think you need to nail that question down. What do I want? Because when you know what you want, it is far easier to visualize what you're going to become. And then you can set out the steps that you think you need to become that. If you do not have that visualization, that end goal of what it is that you want to become, your journey of studying, going into the mental gym and doing reps, it's just not going to be fruitful. And I think you're going to become frustrated, disillusioned, and lose confidence in yourself and your ability to become something. Okay? So first off, really nail down what it is that you want to become. And in that, it's going to require you to choose one thing, one domain, especially early on. Now, if you've got many years of experience and you spent many years in a single domain and branching out into another makes more sense because you can fall back, right? But when you have nothing to fall back on, when you are creating your foundation, your base, you really need to just stick to one single thing. I think those people that succeed are the ones that stick to one thing. Okay, so what does that mean? That means going to school, learning the curriculum that you need. In university, there's going to be a more broad curriculum. So there's not going to be anyone telling you what it is that you're going to become, right? That's on you to figure out. Watch lots of YouTube videos, but even better, talk to people in different industries, get a sense of what they do on the day-to-day and see if it interests you. If you are self-taught or going to a boot camp, it's a little different. If you're in a boot camp, then the curriculum is formed for you. There's a very clear end to that. You're going to become a web developer. There's tons of boot camps out there for web developers. So that is going to be more clear-cut. If you're in a boot camp, you more than likely have made that choice of what you're going to become already. If you're self-taught, then the challenge with that is that there is no end to the amount of content and breadth of content online that you could be self-teaching from. So I would strongly recommend choosing a curriculum, something that is built in a channel. It's got guardrails. It's really focused on a specific set of content so that you can build knowledge and competence in that specific set of content to become something. And that's where I think a curriculum like the Odin Project is extremely valuable because it does just that. It's very, very well written, written by people who are web developers, helping those who want to become web developers, right? It's very single-minded in its goal, focusing on two tech stacks, JavaScript and Ruby on Rails. That's Node, JavaScript, and Ruby on Rails. There may be other courses out there like Free Code Academy and others, that are just as good. I have not done them myself, but if you are looking at content on the web, have a goal in mind as to what you want to become, and find material that's going to help you achieve that goal. The worst thing you can do is dabble here, dabble there, because you never become an expert, right? The hiring landscape right now is very tough because there is a lot of competition for junior positions especially. And in order to get hired to become a web developer, for example, you need to be able to stand out. And in order to stand out, you need to be able to do things that are above, let's say, average. I don't know the specific percentage, whether it's about 50%, 60, 70, 80, but you need to be able to perform at a decent level of competence so that you stand out. That's the whole point, is to stand out. You're not going to stand out if you are not at least focused in a core domain. If you've dabbled too much in many areas, you've wasted time, and you're not going to be as progressed as somebody who's focused on a single domain, right? That's just how it goes. So focus on a single domain and look at ways that you can differentiate yourself. And one way that I always recommend for people who say, how do I differentiate myself, is learn how to build a web application. Okay, so you can take whatever tech stack you want, but make sure it's full stack, and build a web application. You could probably get away with something on the front end only and using Firebase on the back end, for example, but find a real problem in the world, go out there and solve it with code, and get some real users. And it can be something really simple that you give to people for free, but it solves a little problem in their day and makes their day a little easier. You go into an interview with that, you are armed with something that is way better than most of your competitors out there will have. And this is geared more towards companies and interviews that don't focus on leak code style stuff. If you need to go leak code route, that's a whole different beast. I personally haven't gone that route. But please do focus. Please do think early on what is it that I want to achieve, what is it that I want to become, and then stick to one thing and just become very good at it so that you can outperform your peers essentially for when you're going to that first job interview. Now, there's many other factors involved in getting that first job beyond your technical competence, but my focus here is really on developing that technical competence. And the one thing that I always recommend alongside technical competence is networking, and being focused really helps you network as well, because let's say you want to become a web developer. Well, you've already narrowed down the network that it is that you need to operate within and build. Right? You're not going to go and network with people in machine learning, AI. You're not going to go and network with people who are in, say, product side of things or design or in firmware development or anything like that. You're going to network with web developers, probably in the stacks that you are focusing on, right? You're niching down. The more you niche down, the more that you can find your position, your place, and your fit. And then you can find out who your peers are and what it takes to stand out. So please do niche down, focus on one thing, and don't dabble across many things if you want to succeed. Okay, that's just my Friday wisdom for you. That's the strategy that I implemented. I doubled down and focused intently on Ruby on Rails, and I was successful in landing Ruby on Rails specific jobs. And I'm very happy having done that. People, if I'd have listened to the internet, people were just in the last few years saying Ruby on Rails is dead, don't waste your time, it's pointless. It's absolute garbage. Ruby on Rails is a niche, and I chose a niche that I know that still has a decent amount of use out in the real world. And guess what? Not as many people are going into this niche, so my competition is less. I think it worked in my favor, but I niched down and I chose one thing and I stuck with it. All right, good luck niching down and finding your focus. Let me know how it goes, and let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. Do you agree, disagree? What have been your experiences? Good luck.